So later on this month, I might even say it's next Friday, A Quiet Place Part 2 comes out, and it's safe to say I'm pretty sure this was my second most anticipated movie of this year, because the year this it came out, which I want to say it was 2018, it was in my top 10 of my favourite movies of that year. I just think the first one is a complete masterpiece in horror, so I'm really excited for the second one. Hadn't seen the first one in a while. I think it's been over a year since I've actually seen this movie, so I sat down during the weekend, watched it with my girlfriend, her first time since the cinema, so she forgot a lot of it, so it's really good to watch her throughout this movie. So I said, you know what, I'm going to actually sit down, I'm going to review this movie after seeing the actual kind of recapping my memory of watching the first one. So I'm going to sit down and review it and just kind of get my thoughts out there on the first one. I remember my exact cinema experience going to see this. Me and my girlfriend, we both wanted to see it because we heard it was really good. We've seen now it's Emily Blunt, we've seen it as John Krasinski, but neither of us really knew what the plot was. So we got a big popcorn, 2 drinks, and we sat down. And before the trailer started playing. And just bear in mind that neither of us were massive horror fans. Well, I'm a fan of horror now. She's kind of is, not really. But at that stage, neither of us liked horrors. We were both kind of terrified leading up to this movie. So we were sitting there, all the trailers started playing, and there were horrors, and we were both sitting there like, why the hell did we come see this? Neither of us like horrors. What the hell are we doing? And we were contemplating leaving because we were both scared. Mostly, she was more scared than I was. But we were sitting there, and I'm glad we didn't leave, because this movie is probably one of the movies. I think the main movie for me that got me into horror was Scream. But I think this is one of those movies that really helped me go, okay, horrors aren't that bad. Because I remember sitting there, and even it was amazing what they did. Like, I bought a big popcorn, and I usually eat the entire popcorn. But for this movie, I was terrified to eat the popcorn because I was so scared to actually make noise eating that popcorn. Just even though it's a movie, I was terrified of making a sound. Even though me and her were planning on seeing the second one together, and I'm still thinking of what food we can get because I don't want to make food that is going to make a noise throughout the second movie. That just shows you much suspense that they were able to set up in this movie. That even though in their world they can't make a sound because they die, but they made such a suspenseful movie that I was so afraid to eat because of what could happen to the characters. And before we actually pressed play the other day to rewatch this movie, one of my goals for rewatching it with her, I said, okay, I just want to keep track of when the first bit of dialogue is said. And the first time someone talks is John Krasinski, and it's 40 minutes into the movie. And then after that conversation, the next time when Emily Blunt actually talks is over an hour. It's like an hour and 4 minutes into the movie. And this movie is not like a 4-hour movie. This is an hour and a half movie. It just scratches an hour and a half, like an hour and 32 minutes or so. And the fact that someone doesn't talk 40 minutes into this movie and you are still interested, I just think it's incredible. Because like even though they have a few bit of sign language, but majority of this movie is no sound whatsoever. Like, you hear, I think probably about a half an hour into it, John Krasinski and Emily Blunt are dancing to a song, and we hear the music, and that's the first bit of loud music we hear, other than something being knocked over or the rocket ship at the very start. And that rocket ship at the start, I remember seeing that for the first time, and I was like, holy crap, the kids got the rocket. What's going to happen now? Because I knew that it was kind of something to do with sound, because they were all being quiet. And all of a sudden, John Krasinski runs back, and some big monster just runs out and grabs a kid, and I was like, what the hell did I just watch? What the hell just happened to that kid? And from that moment, I don't think I'm the only one to say this, but from that moment, that's when I was hooked for this movie, to see what was going to happen, not knowing what's going to happen because I didn't see any trailers. So I was like, what the hell just happened, and what is going to happen? And that is probably one of the best things about this movie, that from the very first scene, like it's, I think it was 89 days in, and then it jumps to 479, I want to say. And the 89 days in, that part had me hooked on this movie, and it's kind of got me hooked on this universe now because it has become a franchise. Another one of the things I like most about this movie is the feel of these people actually being a family. Like, obviously, John Krasinski, Emily Blunt, they are married in real life, but these kids feel like they're their actual kids. They feel like it is one of a family. And I loved also the element of survival. It feels like these characters, all they want to do is just survive to the next day. And of course, you do have that kind of thrown in the middle, Emily Blunt is pregnant, which is kind of something that I was thinking, that's something that is probably the worst possible thing to happen to them, and it happens. And the way it shows that they're not just kind of gonna wing it. They have this whole planned out. They build out a whole bunker underneath their house that is soundproof. They're gonna put the baby in a box with an oxygen mask. So it shows that they're not idiots. They're not gonna be like, crap, what do we do? And they're not just gonna panic and then figure it out as they go along. It shows that from the minute they found out she's pregnant, they are completely thinking about every single thing that they can go wrong. That can go wrong. And even you look at their kind of farm where they are, which in fairness, living on a farm before these things happen is the best thing that can happen to you. The fact that you still have all this kind of stuff, you're nowhere, you got all this room. It's just living on a farm is probably the best kind of possible place to be living in this kind of scenario. But the way they have their farm set up, where they have it set up in the perfect way possible to reduce, like, not only reduce sound, but it's a perfect. They have the lights to kind of signal everyone, because you can't go out there, you can't shout and say, crap, I need your help. So they have the lights to signal if there's something wrong. You also, there's this, it's a very small moment where John Krasinski's sitting on top of, I think it's called a silo, and he's lighting a fire just to let everyone else know. And you see fires lit off in the distance, letting everyone else know, like, I'm okay. And I just think that's a really small scene, but I think it's a really, really good scene. It helps to show that they're not the only ones out there. It shows that there is still hope out there. And I really like that small little element of, oh yeah, there's other people out there. So the only other thing I actually really want to talk about within this movie is a major spoiler. So if you have not seen this movie and you do plan on seeing it before the first one, I'm just going to give a little spoiler warning now. So 3, 2, 1. So it's John Krasinski's sacrifice. I remember it absolutely shocking me. Even in the rewatch, I knew it was coming, but it still shocks me to see that. And the emotion in his face, in his kid's face, because I don't know the daughter's name, but she's deaf, and she blames herself for the death of her little brother, and then she thinks that he blames her too. And it's a really, really beautiful moment where he's saying he loves her and that he's always loved her, and you see the emotion in her face, the emotion in his face, and then he screams and the monster comes and attacks him, and that's the end of John Krasinski's character. And it's really sad to see that's how he goes out. He goes out saving his kids, but it's just sad to see that he does go out. And then the kids do make their way back to the main house where Emily Blunt and the baby are, and the fact that they're down there, they're panicking, and then it's because of all this, you see the monster has followed them down there because of the noise of the car, and they're kind of panicking down there, not knowing what to do. So the young boy is sitting in the corner with the baby, very close to tears because he thinks he's going to die. Emily Blunt is down there with a shotgun, and the noise from this TV, all the static, is really irritating the monster, and he's freaking and panicking. And then the deaf girl finds out that if she pushes her hearing aid up to high, it really wrecks with her head, and he starts panicking. He starts kind of having a fit, throwing himself all over the place, and then they think he's dead. He jumps back up and Emily Blunt just shoots him square in the face, and it's such a really badass moment, and it's not something I really expected going into this movie. I didn't really expect Emily Blunt to have a moment like that. And then it shows that, oh crap, from memory, it was two more. It was two more come rushing at the house, and the movie ends with her just cocking her gun, and it's like, okay, that's such a really good way to end this movie. So when it comes to A Quiet Place, it's a movie I would 100% recommend. If you have not seen this movie, definitely watch it. I think the best experience for this first time is to watch it in cinema. So unless there's a double bill playing with near you, which I would highly recommend you seeing a double bill of this in the cinema. But if you don't have the opportunity, try watch it at home where there's minimum sound. Put the lights off, sit in a room by yourself and just watch it, because I think any sound kind of really does ruin this movie. You need to be in a really quiet environment to watch this movie. So that's what you should do for this movie. Let me know your thoughts in the movie if you've seen it already. And I'm thinking here, I wonder if there's going to, because I don't know anything, I don't even know what the story is about the sequel. I've seen the first trailer and that's about it. I haven't seen any interviews, I haven't heard anything about it, so I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know, I imagine there's no time skip because I've seen the trailer does have the baby there, but I wonder if it's going to continue straight from the minute the first one ends. Like, I wonder if we're going to see them kill those creatures that have come into the house, or if it's going to be a time skip of a couple of weeks. I don't really know. So if you do want to see my thoughts on A Quiet Place Part 2 when it comes out, make sure you click that subscribe button so you can come back in. I'm pretty sure it is coming out next Friday. So if you want to see my movie review of that movie, click that subscribe button. And as always, thanks for watching.